Welcome to ECCB Connects, a program produced by the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. A regional school quiz, youth symposium, and youth parliament are all activities that the ECCB has planned to engage and connect with young people across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union as part of its 40th anniversary celebrations held under the theme ECCB at 40, a year of reflection, celebration, and implementation. We hear more about these exciting activities after this message.
Celebrating ECCB at 40.
Did you know that the second Deputy Governor, Mr. Trevor Brathwaite, a national of St. Lucia, served for 15 years from 2006 to 2021? Now you know, celebrating ECCB at 40.
I'm joined by the very youthful Leon Bollen, Chair of the ECCB 40th Anniversary Youth Subcommittee. He's here to talk to us about engagements planned to connect with the young people across the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union as the bank celebrates its 40th anniversary. Leon, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. Let's talk about the ECCU school quiz. This is scheduled for the 28th of September. What can students expect?
The ECCU at 40, ECCB at 40 ECCU school quiz is meant to be an exciting engagement for the youth to take part in, similar to Family Feud. It will be done using a software called Kahoot. And so we intend to ask questions about the region, about the ECCB, its history, its achievements, and other areas of social and economic importance to the ECCU that we expect the youth to know about.
Okay, well, what format would the quiz take?
The idea is to have 3 rounds of questions, 2 preliminary rounds, where we would have about approximately 25 schools across the ECCU taking part. So we will draw schools from both the Windward and Leeward Islands in the preliminary rounds. Those rounds would last about 15 to 20 minutes. And we would take the top 5 from each round to enter into the final round, where the top 3 winners will be selected based on the scores that the Kahoot software would generate.
Now, this activity will be streamed live on our ECCB social media platforms.
Correct.
And this will be an opportunity for the schools to support their participants.
Correct.
Okay.
So it'll be a very fast-moving sort of competition. So using the Kahoot software, 2 schools can select the same answer, but whichever school selects it first gets the most points, and it is automatically assigned to those schools via the software. So we pretty much just have to sit back, ask the questions, and let the software do its thing, and it will determine the school with the highest points total at the end of the session.
So Leon, I suppose we already have the schools who will be participating?
We have informed the schools. Most have agreed that they are interested in participating. We are still awaiting a few more responses, but we intend to have full participation across the ECCU for this competition.
Great. And you know our people are very competitive, so do log on to our social media platforms to support your respective schools and participants. Okay, Leon, so let's move forward to the 5th of October. That's the date for the next activity, the Youth Symposium, which will look at entrepreneurship in the orange and white economies. Walk us through some of the sectors which fall under these economies.
So the orange economy is also known as the creative economy, and it has to do with intellectual property rights and activities in the creative sector. So for instance, singing, music, creative visual and performing arts, advertising, design, those sorts of things. Those all come under the orange economy. And we believe that this is a fast developing sector within the ECCU, within the wider Caribbean and the world. It's certainly an area that has been highlighted by some of our regional leaders as an area of growth for the economies going forward. So we believe that it will speak to a lot of the youth, and this is why it was selected. So basically we will have speakers addressing aspects of both economies, the orange economy and the white economy. In the case of the orange economy, we will have two speakers, one who will specifically address the issue of intellectual property rights, because your work has to be protected, right? When you do something that is creative, it can be used by others as their own, and so you have to make sure that you put measures in place to prevent that, and that you can actually reap the benefits of your hard work. So a speaker will address that issue specifically. Another speaker will address the wider issue of the creative economy, all the different aspects of the creative economy, which will then open the minds of young people to, other aspects or areas for employment, areas for possible careers going forward.
This is a very interesting topic. We recently had a series of Youth Express looking at youth in the creative economy, and that's one of the issues that came out, because the creative themselves, they focus on what they do, but that element of the business side, protecting your work and so on. So this will be very useful for the young people across our region.
Yes, a lot of times we do not protect the assets that we create. And the asset does not necessarily have to be a physical asset, right? It's something that you produce that has to be protected so that you can reap the benefits of it later. And in the white economy, we will discuss issues to deal with youth entrepreneurship and digital businesses. Again, this is a fast-growing part of the economy, and it's an area that is likely to attract a lot of our youth. And so we want to make sure that they are aware of the opportunities that exist in that sector as well.
Great. And we wrap up this series of engagements with the youth with another activity, the Youth Parliament. And we also, the latest series of Youth Express was looking at youth in government. And now we're bringing together young people to engage on this very interesting topic, calling for urgent action to quell youth-related violence in the Eastern Caribbean. What's the thinking, Leon, behind discussing such a topic at this time?
Well, interestingly, the Youth Parliament Association of St. Kitts, as well as the Youth Parliament Association of Antigua and Barbuda, they would have come together and they decided on that topic amongst themselves. So it was not something that we would have generated. We put the ball in their court and we said, why don't you address a topic that is near and dear to your heart, something that really appeals to you? And the issue of youth violence was a very big one. And we see the high incidence of crime that's been taking place across our islands. And so it's something that they wanted to address frontally. So we applauded them for taking that step, and they are ready and raring to go. We've had discussions with some of the youth parliamentarians, and they are extremely eloquent, they are extremely intelligent, and they want their voices to be heard, especially on this issue, because it's an existential issue. We cannot afford for crime to overrun our countries, for it will destroy our economies, our countries, our way of living. And so it's something that they're really keenly interested in addressing, and we hope that by the end of it, we can have an action plan which they would be able to present to their respective leaders, to their prime ministers or premiers, and hopefully get a listening ear and possibly propose some solutions that they would be willing to implement.
And having these engagements with our youth across the region, is it that the ECCB is acknowledging that the youth voice is important and they actually have a contribution to make?
That's exactly the point. Their voices need to be heard. They do have very good ideas, and some of which, if we take them seriously, may very well make a meaningful difference in our lives, in all of our lives. And so we want to make sure that they have a place or a seat at the table. And so this is the ECCB's way of saying, we see you, we recognize you, we want to put you out there for the public to hear and to see just how intelligent you are, and also to listen to some of the solutions that you are proposing.
Okay, so let's wrap up and recap. We start with the ECCU school quiz. That's on the 28th of September. Then we move to the Youth Symposium on the 5th of October. and the Youth Parliament. That's between the 5th and the 6th of October. What is your final message, Leon, to young people, schools, teachers, and the public for that matter in terms of how they can lend support to the young people during these activities?
Well, we would like to encourage as many students as possible to be a part of the activities. All of the activities will be streamed live on our social media pages. Connect. In the case of the Youth Symposium, you will be asked to participate virtually. So feel free to ask questions of the presenters. So we'll also have some of the delegates for the youth parliaments to serve as discussants for some of the presentations that will be made. And we will also ask them to take the charge, take the lead in inviting those students who will be present, as well as those who will be taking part virtually, to ask questions, to become involved, So we want to make it as interactive as possible. So it's not just the youth will be sitting down listening to presentations. We will actually have some of the youth respond to the presentations and then open the floor for all to ask questions. So we want to make it as interactive as possible. The youth parliamentary sitting is also intended to be a very informative one, a high-spirited one, because we're going to have both government and opposition benches, and they're going to be battling it out to see who can propose the best solutions to quell the vexing problem of youth violence in the ECCU region. And so it really should be very interactive, engaging, and entertaining. And so we want to invite as many youths as possible, teachers and students, to log on, to take part in the conversations, and to learn, and to be a part of this movement.
Sounds really interesting and exciting. So remember, these activities will be streamed live on our social media pages, ECCB Connects. We encourage you to stay connected and support our region's young people. Leon, thank you for being with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Celebrating ECCB at 40.
Did you know that the ECCB has sponsored the OECS ECCB Under-23 Netball Tournament since 1991? In 2019, it was revamped and is now called the OECS ECCB International Netball Series. Now you know, celebrating ECCB at 40.
That's it for this episode of ECCB Connects. Thank you for watching. Be sure to stay connected to our social media platforms to support the young people as they participate in the various initiatives. Join us again next week for another program to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.